Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. What's up, Mr. Shy Potato? Temporal Fry? Naps with Cat? Ancient Oleander? Power is being fucky? I know we've got storms rolling through where we're at, so hopefully my power doesn't go all fucky, or my internet. Hey, Pablo. What's up, Tassadul? Oh shit, 21 Sacrament stream. Dude, what are the odds actually? 21 Sacrament stream. It's day 21 for Silent Hill 2 Remake. Today is the 21st anniversary of the release of Silent Hill 4, where the 21 Sacrament ritual is from. Silent Hill 4 is exactly 21 years old today. All the 21s. And I was listening to 21 Savage when I took my shower earlier. 21. All the 21s. It's destiny. It's 21 day. Apparently it is. What's up, Laudable Halo? Hey, Gadius. That five-day stream streak. 5 stream streak. Hey, Rachel. Love you. What's up, Locomo? Was watching part 1 of the cam hack playthrough. Never noticed the little football stickers on Eddie's van. That was really cool. Yep, those little football stickers, little things kind of tying the van to Eddie. Something that was just kind of speculation from the original game. If that van was Eddie's or not. You see a little part of the original Silent Hill 2 intro video where there's like a quick little scene of Laura and Eddie sitting in front of a white van. We don't know if it was actually his van or if they had just stopped and were taking a break and looking at a map in front of it. But then Bloober Team added in the little football stickers and fast food containers and stuff around it to kind of tie it to Eddie a bit more directly. And we find those same football stickers in the bedroom next to Eddie when you see him in the apartments. Yeah, exactly, Temporal Fry. They actually made it Eddie's van for this game. Wi-Fi's being silly, but it's a horribly hot day here. Yeah, that's how it's been today too. It's very stormy and rainy. It's very hot, but the humidity is going crazy. Fucking bugs everywhere. Grove Sleeper, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, welcome. Sounds like an evil mixture. Yeah. Yep. I'm back. Grove begged me to join his raid. Perfect. Begged. 3 is a record. Hopefully it keeps going up. Have you been streaming, Grove Sleeper? For like 6 weeks or so? There we go. I just followed you. Was already watching him when you came back online. Oh yeah. I don't know why I turned into Guy Seehee. Oh yeah. That radio. I need to look at Tassadul's. Tassadul sent me an animation, and I hadn't gotten a chance to see it yet. I love the placeholder for me. Oh man, the Maria animation, the Laura animation. The room, the background room with the like billowy sheets. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so freaking good. I'm gonna have to start doing my part. Bust out the green screen. And get this first little part done. That may be easier in the new setup. We definitely have a lot more room for it now. Hopefully it'll be better when I actually finish it. It looks so good. Will we ever get to see it? Eventually. I don't know how long. Just because, like, Tassadul is doing this completely just... I had a fun idea. Tassadul had asked me if I had any ideas for things for him to practice with 3D animation and doing stuff with Silent Hill models. So I pitched an idea. And I let Tassadul know, like, I don't have any money. I can't, like, commission you for it. So don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Don't take time away from your work and your other projects and stuff. But if you want to work on this as just like a fun little side thing, feel free. And yeah, it looks good. It looks so good. But I'm gonna hold off. As much as I want to share it, I'm gonna hold off until things are done and polished. Once we finish this first part of it, I might tease it as part of a video in the future until we can finish the whole thing. But it looks awesome. Tassadul is a legend. Absolute legend. A gentleman and a scholar. And a blood mage. And a drug dealer. Tassadul's the only good thing about Ascension. Rachel's also in Ascension. Rachel also made a cameo after she deleted her account. Her character still showed up like 3 weeks later. Wow, yeah. They were puppeting like inactive and deleted accounts to try to make it seem like more people were using it than actually were. I'm telling you, Ascension, I'm tempted to do like an entire look back at Ascension video just to sort of break down exactly how big of a fucking lie and scam that whole thing really was. Because we have so much evidence. We have so much evidence of how bullshit the whole thing was. And nobody else has really made a video on that topic. Nobody's really made videos on Ascension in general. I think like 3 people in the whole world covered it. It was like me, Bakpa Soup, and Super Eye Patch Wolf. It's not made with AI. Wins an award for use of AI. Yeah. Stephen Bugai did a fucking conference talking about the benefits of AI in game production. Shit like that. Not for Ascension. All the money people spent, all gone to waste? Yeah. Yami's hard-earned $20 that paid for my season pass. All down the toilet. Worst part about Ascension is that I wouldn't be streaming without it. The whole translate Norwegian crap thing is a part of how I got past the worst part of my anxiety. Nub in this community is the reason why I did the translations in general, though. It was super appreciated. Like, you helped us understand that aspect of Ascension just to make sure that we were, like, understanding everything as thoroughly as we could. And I'm glad that, like, that involved you more in our community and helped get you to a point of being able to stream and getting past your, like, streaming anxiety. So, hey, if something good came out of Ascension, especially for Tassadul, who was the real star of that show, that's worth it. It was worth all the torture. Don't know what would be worse. Used AI and they lied, or didn't use AI and they took the award. Oh, no, it's not like they took the award. It's not like they accepted the award. They bought the award. That's how you get Webbies. They bought? Yeah. Look at the Wikipedia page for the Webby Awards. One of the like first lines talking about it is how it's criticized for being a pay-to-win award show. And how a lot of people have just called to it an outright scam. Check Genvid's Twitter page, and out of curiosity, and Eduardo is still being held hostage in the weird Marvel thing they're doing now? Such a waste of talent. Such a waste of talent. Eduardo should be out there playing Magic the Gathering at the highest possible level, because he's a former tournament champion for Magic the Gathering. Eduardo's actually fucking legit. When I started researching the devs, and I found that out, and I found like all these cool pictures of him from like tournaments he won and stuff like that. Eduardo's legit, and Magic the Gathering is like blowing up really big right now, especially with all the promotion and everything they've been doing for the new Final Fantasy cards and all that stuff. So dude should be out there making a living, playing Magic the Gathering and streaming on his own terms. I hope Genvid's paying him well. Hey, Warlock. Missed the whole Ascension party? What was it about anyways? I mean, you can catch up on the whole thing on my YouTube if you really want to. Basically, it was a quote-unquote interactive streaming show with Flash game, like worse than Flash game level minigames. Worse than stuff that you would find on like Newgrounds fucking 15, 20 years ago or whatever. And an audience voting system that was completely rigged and literally didn't do anything. The only gimmick that they advertised that actually sort of was real were the player avatar cameos. And Tassadul proved how easily even that could be manipulated by people. Because you could literally just make a bunch of accounts. Not that the cameos mean shit now. That was the one thing that was kind of cool about Ascension, was the viewer cameos. Being able to make your own character and potentially show up in an episode. And then once the whole series ended, they removed all the names, so you can't see the usernames anymore. And they straight up replaced a lot of the avatars that people made with just randomly generated ones, or ones that I guess they made. So even that they didn't like stick to. That was like the coolest part of it. And they managed to fuck that up too. Because we had people who were part of it who had shown up, like aside from just Tassadul, and they would share like screenshots like, hey look, my avatar made it in as a cameo. And then when the episode would air on Tubi, it was completely replaced by a totally different avatar and the name was removed. So it's like, what's the fucking point? That whole thing was such a fucking scam. And they're still doing it. They're still doing it. They're doing the exact same thing with Justice League, whatever it's called. They're doing the same thing for DC, and then they've got a Borderlands one planned for after that. They can't keep getting away with it. And before Silent Hill, they did the exact same scam with The Walking Dead. It was just not as widely received because they only did it through Facebook. They didn't like make their own custom app or anything the way they did for Silent Hill and for DC. They just had it as like a little Facebook game. But they did it for The Walking Dead first, and that was like testing the waters, testing their format. And then they expanded the idea and did it for Silent Hill. Now they're doing it for DC. They're going to do it for Borderlands next. And it's a shame because some of the things that they try to market it as are like legitimately neat ideas, but they're not actually doing any of it. It's all a ruse, a scam. Anyway, enough about Ascension. We're going to play some Silent Hill 2. What? Marketing lies? No way. I mean, I'm used to a certain level of marketing not being truthful. But when the entire product, service, whatever you're advertising doesn't function at all the way you're saying it does, that's a whole nother level of dishonesty. It's a whole nother type of scammy nature. Yeah, burn them scam points. And we'll see if they actually are being burned. Because you will just randomly get them back. The same way you would with influence points during Ascension. All right. Day 21 of the Silent Hill 2 Remake cam hack. Not only is it day 21, today is June 17th, 2025, which is the 21-year anniversary since the release of Silent Hill 4, The Room, which featured a ritual called the 21 Sacraments. It's day 21 on the 21st year in the 21 Sacraments. Yeah, Silent Hill 4 can legally drink in the US now. What would Silent Hill 4 drink as its first alcoholic celebration drink? That's a great question. I feel like it would need to be something red. Chocolate wine. Ooh, or yeah, like what's it called? A white Russian is when you do it with milk. Is it a dirty Russian when you have chocolate? Or Jasper? Basically alcoholic chocolate milk. All right. So we're finally in Toluca Prison, exploring everything with the cam hack. We spent last time kind of really looking around this little part here, the chapel and the vestry. Boom, boom, boom. I love the audio design here. The audio and the sound design. We read this already. We've looked around at everything in here, make sure there wasn't any stuff that I missed from last time. We've got our first weight, the heaviest weight. Yeah, and we get our sound cue here because we're going to be dealing with mannequins. So many mannequins. It's one of my only complaints about this section of the game. It's very enemy heavy. Much more so than the original. And requires a lot of backtracking through these areas with the enemies. And, I mean, I like the new enemies. I like the mannequins sort of spider version variation. The movement and the abilities and everything are really cool. But you just have to go back and forth past these cells and through this prison so much. And enemies just keep on popping up. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We're on light combat difficulty. We've got the chainsaw. So it'll be a little less annoying. Mostly I just want to spend time looking around all of these cells, trying to figure out if there's any kind of cool details and things hidden around here. At the very least, I know the cultist cell is going to have some really cool stuff in it. Silent Hill 2 soundtrack sounds like mechanical pumping. Could be a slowed down recording of bed springs. Always liked it because it had so many meanings. There's the implication of what two people could be doing to make that sound. First is suggestive, the other is darker, and someone could be getting murdered by the other. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of bits of sound that remind me of that. And there was a similar sound effect in... my chat is paused. There's a similar sound effect in the original Silent Hill 2 in Woodside Apartments in the original Butterfly Room that sounded like squeaky bed springs kind of on loop as part of the ambient sound. That's the one you meant? Okay. Faucets, buckets, rags. But otherwise, pretty bare prison cells for the most part. Gross. Having the line figures set up where they can spit at you through the bars, which is a real thing that would happen in a lot of prisons and still happens. Always have to be careful. Don't want prisoners ejecting various bodily fluids at you through the bars. They even reference that in Silence of the Lamb. In Silence of the Lambs, there's when Clarice is making her way to Hannibal Lecter's cell, she passes by another inmate who says he can smell her. I'm not quoting it directly. And then he says, I bit my wrists. Look at the blood. And he throws bodily fluids at her. It's not blood. Not blood. But that's a thing. That's a thing that is based on, like, actual things that happen in prison. Anyway. Religious iconography. Stations of the Cross. Jesus' crucifixion. Along with the Tablet of the Oppressor from the original Silent Hill 2. So we saw the Tablet of the Gluttonous Pig back in the cafeteria, which is where you would have picked it up in the original Silent Hill 2 as part of a puzzle. Then we have the Tablet of the Oppressor, which is found in a jail cell, just like this one, in the original Silent Hill 2. You would have come in and picked it up, and then the door closes and locks, making you seem, making it feel like you're trapped in that cell. But after examining the door or waiting a little bit, the door can be opened. It's a really nice little panic moment for players who are not expecting it or don't know what to do. And here we even get our little remnant of the past, our flashback. Same thing for the Stations of the Cross imagery and religious imagery in that cell. That was also present in the original. Just made a lot more clear and visible here. Who did the oppressor represent again? That was James. That was James. If it wasn't obvious enough, it's depicting a male figure wrapping his hands around the throat and face of a female figure who seems to be, like, trying to push and fight back. Supposed to be a representation of James killing Mary. Would it be poor taste to want a pillow of the oppressor tablet? People have much weirder things than that. I think you'd be fine. Especially for a fictional piece of artwork. Or a piece of artwork for a fictional game, rather. Stacks of books. Same book that we found in the little church area. The history of psychology. It's misspelled. It doesn't say psychology. They forgot the C. So it just says psychology. And the bound up bedroll. Top bunk laid out. Spoon and a plate. The cell is to be cleaned up by Tuesday. That's today. Make sure you get the cons to do it by then. So they weren't even having staff do stuff. They were making sure convicts actually did, you know, a lot of these things. The previous tenant has been moved to death row, as per the warden's order. Text all matches. Still trying to read the actual words on the texture and compare it to the subtitles and text that pops up on screen, because sometimes, intentionally, they don't match. We see James omit the word guilt from one of the posters in Brookhaven Hospital, so I'm checking everything kind of closely to see if that happens anywhere else. And James, as you examine these doors, he starts marking them down on his map. That's right, there's like Hebrew writing, inscriptions on a lot of these doors. Door of a snake with the head cut off. Let me see. Whoops. Doo-doo. Unhooking my phone, trying to see. I know it's not always accurate or the best thing, but sometimes we can get translations. Translate. Ah. So it detected that it was Hebrew. The machine-generated translation gave me, "Because you did it, damn you." Might not be perfectly accurate, but thematically, that definitely fits. Because you did it. Damn you. Should have another door down here. Some more bird imagery, which has been another recurring thematic element. As well as another inscription. See if I can get something for that. Translating. Hebrew detected. I'm flying in the neighborhood. Or I will fly and settle down. Flying seems to fit with bird imagery. There's also, in the original Silent Hill 2, and it's recreated for the remake, we'll find paintings in one of the cells. And one of those is titled Woman in Flight. So there's also a, like, sort of flying reoccurring theme here. Here's where we're going to be bringing those weights. But I'm going to check this out a little bit later. I want to finish looking at these doors. And just kind of examining all the cells and everything here. Try my best not to miss anything. Stairwell here. This will eventually open up. Pulled the drawer out of their table. Same sort of cots and everything else. So each one has kind of a different depiction. So the snake had its head cut off. The birds had their wings cut. The boar has its eyes marked out. Let's see what kind of translation I might get for this. Translation I got for this one: we hid in lies. We hid in lies. Somewhat similar to James, hiding in his delusion. Blinded to the truth. Beds are actually folded up and attached to the wall in here. Entire wall between these cells is destroyed. Bloober really loved using those breakable walls. Yeah. Again, very minor nitpick from me. It feels a little bit overused, how often you have to do that in the game. And it gives me flashbacks to Homecoming. That was something you had to do a lot in Homecoming, was like, use your fire axe to chop the hole into this wall, and then you can squeeze through. Not a big fan of that, but I understand. It makes progression through the areas, like, a little more active, not just running through everything. But it's a bit overused. In a few situations, it's fine. But it's one of those mechanics that can easily be overdone. Is that everything that we've explored? We need to try the stairs or the door to the armory. A bull with its horns broken. And its ear cut. And let's see what I get for this translation. And I will cut off all the horns of the wicked. So it even mentions cutting off horns. And I will cut off all the horns of the wicked. that's about everything we can access here without clipping through walls and stuff. So let's go ahead to the yard. This was always one of my favorite rooms in the original Silent Hill 2. I love the sound design. Everything in here gets especially quiet compared to the rest of the prison. And you can hear the sound of hoofbeats, like horses running around you. Just a lot of imagery and sounds kind of hinting at various execution methods throughout history. The horses being a reference to being drawn and quartered. Of course, the nooses and everything being a reference to being hanged. Let's go ahead and save our game here. Might start doing a little bit of sequence breaking just for fun. There's the horse. Some more horse sounds. And you can just hear them periodically while you're doing other stuff. So, heaviest weight. Let's go ahead and put that there. We'll mess with that in a moment. But we've got another inscription. Translating. Mana Tekel and Farson. Is that actually a thing? Tekel and Parson. Mene, Tekel, and Parson are Aramaic words that appeared on the wall during a banquet hosted by King Belshazzar in the book of Daniel. Daniel interpreted the message to mean that God had numbered the days of Belshazzar's reign, found him wanting when weighed, and that his kingdom would be divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Basically saying, your days are numbered. Found him wanting when weighed. Considering we're also doing a puzzle here with a scale. It's where the term read the writing on the wall came from. Good to know, Temporal Fry. Again, I am not a religious scholar. Everything I know about religion I learned because of video games, so you'll have to excuse me if I don't connect a lot of these dots right away. But I'm just doing my best to look stuff up and research as we find things. So we've got each of our emblems corresponding to each of our doors. I like that you can even see residue of weights and different substances that had been placed on each of the arms of the scale. They're all like different colors. Green, brown, sort of like a rust, kind of an off-white, powdery gray, deeper red, light blue. Possibly from the different types of metals that the weights could be made out of, leaving different types of corrosion. See, this one looks more like a polished silver, as opposed to this one that looks more like stone. It's got sort of the white ash on it that would correspond with this, along with the size of the weight itself. Smaller weight with silver could potentially leave that behind, or this behind. Cool detail. And potentially clue to solving the actual puzzle. Let's check out the statue herself. Similar to a lot of representations of justice, personifications of justice. Being blind and often depicted with scales. It's a pretty common statue and artwork theme around like courthouses and stuff like that in the US. And I'm sure in other places in the world. What is she holding? I thought it was like a torch, but it looks like a lever. It's the ruler of smiting. Very detailed statue. It's even got like the fingernails, all the different types of corrosion and stuff on it. Oh. Well, there's a wallpaper. God, this is such a pretty game. Like, I may have a lot of criticisms for Bloober Team, especially their games before this, but they've always done really well with visuals and lighting. And man, they really, really put a lot of effort into this game in that department. You can feel it, even for these things that are just like not even intentional shots. Just looking at stuff with like a mod. And here is where the lever will go once we get it from the statue. Like, I know it's supposed to be that lever. In the context of the statue on its own, though. I was always curious if that's supposed to be, like, some sort of a torch. Of course, we've got two pyramid heads with spears, kind of foreshadowing that fight. Along with somebody hanging from a noose in between them. Not too dissimilar from Maria, although she'll be upside down and impaled, not just hanged like this. We do sort of get some implications of James pulling a noose down for himself, kind of more things to infer towards that suicidal tendency that's part of his brain, part of his subconscious. Pull ye but once on a rope's frayed end. Choose the one justified from among the damned. Seek out their tales, think upon each sin. Or let blind fate choose. Let the judgment begin. So they sort of combine a few puzzles, a couple of different puzzles from the original Silent Hill 2. There was no, like, weight and scale puzzle, but there was a noose puzzle where you had to read the poem and figure out who was the innocent prisoner based on the story, based on the poem, and then pull that noose. For the speed runs, now there's a method to manipulate the RNG so you know exactly what your puzzle solution's going to be for the original Silent Hill 2. So all the guesswork has been taken out of it. But back in the day, in like 2015, up until, man, when was RNG manip found? 2017 or something? So those first couple years when I was speedrunning this game, a lot of other people were running the game, there was no RNG manipulation. So for the original noose puzzle, you would just run in and pull the noose closest to the door and hope that that was it. Basically, just guess and hope that it was the right one. And if it wasn't, time loss, reset. I like the way that this is sort of referencing that. Seek out their tales and think upon each sin so you can logically figure out the solution to this puzzle. Or let blind fate choose. You can just guess. You can just guess. Maybe you'll be right. Love how this is impact font. It is kind of a basic impact font. It's a little bit strange, but it's fine. It fits well enough with everything else, all the other visuals. It's not Comic Sans. That would be really funny, though. Yeah. Personally, I'm a big fan of Palatino linotype when it comes to fonts, because it was a modified version of that font that was the subtitle font for the original Silent Hill 2 and 3. So I tend to use a lot of Palatino linotype when I'm like editing videos and making stuff for my streams and for YouTube, because it is the one of the closest visually fonts to the Silent Hill 2 and 3 subtitle font. It's one of my favorites. And this opens up. I'm guessing we can probably clip in. Yeah. So we can preemptively kind of clip in here and read the little parts of this puzzle. This one took from others. 'Twas a sinful deed. Hallowed was the place, this one set ablaze. This one he did kidnap his beloved daughter. This one broke the lock to steal. I'll tell you plain. This one dared to take his own mother's life. This one clenched his fist and has pulled no punch. So these are fairly straightforward on Easy Riddle, which we're playing on for this particular playthrough. But when you're on normal or hard, they're a little bit more involved, with things kind of being a bit more ambiguous. Harder to tell who could potentially be the innocent one, the one justified from among the damned. I also like that they sort of emphasize this aspect a little bit more in the remake. The idea that all of these people are guilty, but some are more justified in what they did compared to others, which is also how a lot of people compare the characters in this game. Like, most people do not side with Eddie. They feel like Eddie is just crazy and lashed out, killed a dog, shot a bully, and it's like, yeah, you're being bullied, but that's a pretty extreme sort of reason to do what Eddie did. Angela had been sexually abused throughout most of her life by her father. And most fans of this game will side with Angela and say that her stabbing and killing her father when he was trying to abuse her again is justified. A lot of people will easily say, like, yeah, she's defending herself. She was justified in what she did. It's still murder, but it's easier understanding the situation compared to, like, Eddie. We don't know how severely he was bullied. We don't know the extent of his circumstances, but we know a lot more of the circumstances around Angela, and most people tend to think that her actions were more justified. James kind of falls somewhere in the middle, where some fans kind of understand and accept what he did. Like, Mary was going to die. She was suffering. Her life was ruined. James's life was ruined. And he was just trying to sort of free her from that pain, the suffering that her continuing to live was causing. But it was also very selfish for him to make that choice, regardless of what Mary may or may not have wanted, and for him to sort of want his own life back, even though killing Mary didn't give him that. So I like the way that this is set up, the way they changed this around for the remake. For me, I see it more as a selfish action, really. He even himself admits it. It depends on the ending dialogue. Not in every ending. And Mary straight up forgives him, saying that she understands he was suffering. In some endings, in certain endings. So everything kind of being taken into context, although even that is arguable, right? It might not have been Mary forgiving him, because Mary's dead. His whole conversation, that is part of his delusion. She's manifested. So that could be James essentially forgiving himself. It could be the town bringing Mary back just for that conversation, giving her enough self-awareness and form to have that final moment with James. A lot of that is left fairly ambiguous. Maury says, remember the big painting in the burned down hotel with the 4 zodiac sign symbols? Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, all fixed modality signs. I think they may be tied to Eddie, Taurus, Maria, Leo, Angela, Scorpio, and Aquarius, James. They all fit as far as personality types. If you believe in that sort of thing, sure. I don't believe in zodiac personality types, horoscopes, because people are complex. They're very complex things. We are some very strange creatures, and we change. One of the main things about humans is we change and we adapt to our surroundings. We don't necessarily have personality types. Like, you might have a particular personality type now, but 5 years ago, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, I'm a very different person today than I was 20 years ago. And as far as horoscopes go, they are a very, very old form of cold reading, essentially, using what are called Barnum statements. If you've heard of Barnum and Bailey's Circus, they had a famous catchphrase, "We have something for everyone." Barnum statements are meant to sound like they are very specific to a person or a personality type, when in actuality they can apply to a very wide range of people. So it's not anything I've ever put much belief into. Understanding human psychology, how we interpret things, how we personalize Barnum statements, how our minds work. I think if you have a stronger understanding of that, you won't necessarily buy into a lot of zodiac signs and horoscopes and things like that. Again, nothing against it if you do enjoy that sort of thing. But for me personally, I've never had a reading or read a horoscope or had any sort of alignment personality-wise with anything. And already I know there's going to be people who very heavily believe in that stuff who are watching and listening to me say all this, and they're going to be like, that's such a Capricorn thing for you to say, Nub. Like, some people buy into it, some people don't. I think the human mind and our sense of self and our personalities are too intrinsically linked to other aspects of life that are constantly shifting and changing that you can't lump people into categories like that. Not over a wide enough span of time. Maybe individual little times of your life, sure, but not over the course of your whole life. Chinese zodiac is real, though. I don't buy into that either. But hey, more power to you. Fire, wind, dragon dogs, or rabbits, or whatever the fuck. Have fun. Don't let me rain on your parade. Matt. It's not Matt. Hey, Nub. Watching you makes me happy. I'm writing this to ask that everyone who reads this just think about me for a few seconds and wish me well. Need all the help I can get. Checking myself into a psych facility for my depression and negative thoughts. Don't need pity or sympathy, just a few minutes of well wishes. Hey, I've been very, very close to doing the same thing in my life, Matt. Take care of yourself. Want you to know we do care about you. We acknowledge your existence. We appreciate, and I appreciate you still being here. I'm glad that you're trying to go through the steps to find help, because that is a very difficult thing. It's really hard. It can be very scary, just even making that attempt to get help. So I hope you find the peace that you need in your life. Much love. All the well wishes. Bendy Man, thank you so much for the 9 months. Thank you so much for that Prime resub. Thank you, thank you. So, through the headless serpent door. Is there a point where we can even see the sky? The whole time in the prison? Why? I'm like, why is there a skybox? Usually, like with Brookhaven, there was no skybox. You're just sort of in a void. That's kind of interesting. Execution chamber. With the bloody weight sitting on it. The room here for all the witnesses. This, I realize it's just kind of common prison imagery, especially for this time, like having the electrical chair as an execution method, but this always reminds me of Silent Hill Downpour. One of the endings you can get in Downpour is Murphy basically being guilty of everything. He killed Officer Coleridge, he killed Charlie, he killed everyone. And his mourning wife, Carol, is like sitting here in the witnesses with the black veil on. And Officer George Sewell is the one, like, you know, seeing if he has any last words, handling the execution. Yeah, see you in hell, Cupcake. After he tells JP I could never hurt a kid? Yeah, that's one of my big issues with Downpour. The endings all completely contradict what are supposed to be core elements of the story, which just makes the story feel very poorly written, in my opinion. Downpour has its fans, and it feels like it's gotten a lot more fans over the years. I think, honestly, it's a lot of 20-somethings, young 20-somethings, where Downpour was probably one of their first Silent Hill games, or first horror games in general. So they kind of look at it through that nostalgia lens. We're all biased in our own ways. I'm nostalgic for the same way I'm nostalgic for Silent Hill 1 and 2 and 3 for being that time of my life when I played them, but for a lot of people who are younger and Downpour was there at that point in their life, getting introduced to horror or getting introduced to Silent Hill, they probably think of it much more fondly than I do. But yeah, that game has some pretty flimsy writing. Dialofo, time for me to go to bed and switch to lurk mode. Have a good night, everyone. Take it easy. Hope you get some good sleep. Does Downpour have a lot of people saying they like it? I never see that. So, I used to avoid the Silent Hill subreddit a lot, but I've been spending more time on there lately for research. And there's a lot of people who defend Downpour as being like their favorite of the Western games, Western developed games. It's definitely a lot more than you would expect, than I expect anyway. You also have a lot of people who just straight up deny how poor quality stuff like the HD collection is, which I imagine comes from that same sort of place, because HD collection and Downpour came out around the same time. For a lot of people, HD collection was their introduction to Silent Hill and was their first way of experiencing Silent Hill 2 and 3. So they just don't have the familiarity and the fair comparison to the originals the way like a longtime obsessive fan like me does. So yeah, there's very frequently posts and comments and things like that of people proclaiming their love for Downpour and telling people HD collection's not that bad. Everyone always says it's horrible, but it's fine. And I mean, you can go... I've got a video on my YouTube channel called Worst of the Worst, where I do a full playthrough of Silent Hill 2 and 3 HD. You can see all the issues that game has in real time, and I go into detail on all of them. HD collection is massively flawed. I have no idea where that game gets defenders from. Downpour I can kind of understand. There are some legitimately interesting things with Downpour. I just don't think those ideas were executed very well. Downpour and Homecoming both. Like, they're very flawed games, but I can see what they were going for, and I can understand those games having their fans. HD collection? Like, people trying to defend that in any sort of way? Makes no sense to me. Now we have spider mannequins. Great introduction to them as well. Just having it crawl around outside of the bars once you get to this point reminds me a lot of Silent Hill. Reminds me a lot of Resident Evil 2. When you have the liquor introduction going across the window before you actually encounter it. Toluca Prison. A reminder to all guards, effective immediately, it is absolutely mandatory for everyone to familiarize themselves with the revised generator maintenance manual. We all remember what happened last time there was a spike, though I'm certain most of us would very much want to forget. We will not have another incident. There's that same Toluca Prison stamp that we saw in one of the other memos. The same sort of signature on it as well. Warden's signature, I assume. Nothing hiding around in these little drawers. Music is always good in the series. It's always good in the ones that have Yamaoka contributing. I'm not a fan of the Downpour soundtrack by Daniel Leaked. And Korn, Jonathan Davis. That is still such a bizarre choice for that game. Like, even for 2012. Even for 2012. If Downpour had come out in, like, 2002, I could maybe see them being like, yeah, let's put a fucking Korn song in here. 2012? You got Jonathan Davis to do your fucking intro song? What are you thinking? Yamaoka carries the franchise. I know so many people who got into these games purely because of the music. Like, Yamaoka is an incredible composer. Do we know why Yamaoka didn't do the OST for Downpour? Because he was not a contracted Konami employee at that point. He went freelance and was doing music for, like, Grasshopper Studios and a few other games and things that were coming out from, like, rival publishing studios compared to Konami. So instead of trying to work out that contract in true Konami fashion, they were like, let's just hire somebody else. And I mean, to their credit, Daniel Leaked was a great composer, rest in peace. He did the theme song for, like, Dexter and a bunch of stuff. I mean, he's got a huge career, but that's what most people know. But it just didn't fit. Like, it didn't fit Silent Hill. The intro song for Downpour, that's like the only one. It's called Perp Walk. And it's because he's trying to imitate a Yamaoka style right down to the mandolin. That's clearly Daniel Leaked doing his one song where he's like, I can try to mimic Yamaoka style. You can open the door? That's cool. I didn't know these could do that when they were, like, on the walls. It's just gonna open the door and hang out there and twerk at me? This is like my fucking nightmare. There's not a lot of things that I have, like, a fear of, especially in games and media and stuff. But in real life, I do have arachnophobia. Spiders, like, pictures and videos and games and stuff, spiders don't bother me, but in real life, spiders fucking bother me. And this is like when I go outside to do yard work and I need to come back in the house and there's a big fucking spider just, like, hanging out on the front door that I need to go through. And I'm just like, I guess I'm just going to stay outside for a while. I get to go back inside on the spider's terms. But yeah. Oh, I didn't like that. Oh, the sound. The scream. Flop. Looks like a hand. Oh, the way it folded up, yeah. And it's got the pinky out. Just like James. It's like a wall master from Zelda. Hello. Ooh. I like clipping the camera in and seeing just the little square window light on the mannequin. See? James is like a guard peeking in on the prisoner. Hello. Sorry. Nub, what the fuck? Such an ominous thing to say. My imagination's running with that statement. I mean, it's not intended to be something taken with a lot of depth, just how I'm interpreting the imagery, but it does say a whole lot about how something as simple as a change in camera perspective can make you interpret scenes and elements in these environments like so wildly different. It's a big part of why I like doing these kind of cam hack playthroughs. Like, even just the slightest change of perspective can add so many new layers to interpreting information. Family photo. Person with a boy in a wheelchair. Fingerprints stuck all over it. Faces scratched out. Oh, excuse me. We will be together soon. Somebody else who wanted to die in order to reunite with somebody who's already passed on. Which again, that was James, that was his whole intention when he first came to this town. In Japan, it's called Muri Shinju. Muri Shinju is kind of the idea of murder-suicide between loved ones or families. The idea that they would die together to reunite in the afterlife. It's a real thing. There are many documented cases of it historically. Could someone spell that? I got you. Muri Shinju. I'll even do one better and give you... There's a wiki link, Wikipedia link, if you want to do some more reading on that subject. Something that I did a lot of research on over the years for the original Silent Hill 2. It was a concept that Guy Seehee, James's original actor, was familiar with. And most likely was made aware of it through Team Silent for Silent Hill 2. Up the wall. There it goes. I love that you can just hear the skittering noises. Start looking up and looking around, and they're just all around you. So creepy. Also love how tall the walls are. Yeah. Like, even for a prison with multiple floors, the fact that the lights are so far up, the ceilings are so far up, there's no, like, difference in floors and ceilings between levels. Ow. but I feel like it just adds to how not logical the place we're in is. Like, we've already taken a super long flight of stairs down, dropped down an immensely deep hole after that, dropped down another immensely deep hole that was actually a sideways hallway, all leading down to the point where we're at now, and we're still going to drop even further, all below the Historical Society, which is the actual location where the prison used to exist. So having this, like, completely unrealistic sort of geometry and architecture as part of the environment just, like, really adds to the chaotic nature of where we are. Like, even in previous other worlds and the Fog world, you can still recognize Brookhaven as Brookhaven. You know, you can still recognize the town and its streets for what they are. But by this point, it feels like logic and reason are drastically more broken to create this environment, this place. Next time, number 1508. So this is the same, all the same stuff that we saw on the chalkboard when we first entered the prison. Just giving the prisoner count and guard count. Seems to be all the same numbers. God, the sound design here is so good. All the mannequin noises, all the ambient sounds, the, like, distant clicking. So good. So well done. So creepy just seeing them crawl around all around you. There's fucking 3 of them right here. Plus this lying figure. Like, this part of the prison, I really like. Before they start ramping up the combat and everything too much, so that you kind of do have the opportunity to look around and see a lot of this. when you played this for the first time, Mr. Shy Potato, legit tried to run into the cells and avoid them if I could, because I was just too scared. I mean, that's perfect. So excited for Silent Hill 1 after seeing this game again. Yeah, Hangover. Bloober did a great job with this. I'm really, really hoping they do an even better job with Silent Hill 1. Take a lot of the things they learned from working on this and improve on it. Because I cannot wait to go through some of those locations the same way I'm doing now. Midwich, Alchemilla, Lakeside Amusement Park, the Lighthouse. I can't wait to see all the enemies, the redesigned enemies. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Safety instructions. Power transfer levels. Green, maintenance level. Used to test before each use. Yellow, optimal level. Maintain for safe operation. Red, danger level. Do not operate. Can result in power spike and system overload. Prisoners have escaped. There's our medium weight, covered in blood, found on the electric chair. Oh, there's even the, like, vent above the chair for all the smoke. And a wheelchair. I wonder if this is meant to be significant with the photo that we find. We see a young boy in a wheelchair, but it's a fairly old photo. Although it's also a prison from the 1800s. Can't wait for Harry Mason fancy finger moments. That'll be funny if they keep that as a thing. Well, this side gets locked. Interesting. I don't think I ever tried to backtrack after doing that puzzle that way. Mr. Shy Potato says, I've seen theories of people talking about James being a patient and such. The whole director communication with James, which I personally do not go with that theory. Oh, neither do I. Not a patient here, but in the hospital. I knew what you meant. Although there's been theories around James having been a prisoner as well. On top of being a patient, there's theories around James being the hospital director himself. I feel like it's a case of fans sort of reading into a lot of the notes and symbolism too literally. They're reading it at face value. Things that are meant to invoke the thought of James or the other characters that are meant to be parallels to him as a person. I feel like all of James's subconscious is basically spilling out into reality around us. That is the Silent Hill that we as the player are experiencing sort of through James's eyes. And James is comparing himself to all of these people who historically may have existed. In the history of the town, there was a hospital director who was likely abusive to the patients. There were patients who likely had similarities to James and to Angela and to Eddie, but I don't think it makes any kind of sense for James or these characters to have literally been patients here or, you know, involved in any way. Again, the biggest thing to try to keep in mind, one of the core key story elements of Silent Hill 2 is that James and Mary had never been to Silent Hill until their vacation. They were here exactly once together for their vacation, and after they left, they were never here again until the events of this game, or however you want to view it, the original game, whatever. Until James comes back with Mary's body in the backseat of his car, they hadn't even come to this town since their vacation. They didn't live here, they didn't work here, Mary didn't go to the hospitals here. Those are all, like, key confirmed aspects of the plot that people are just completely ignoring to try to fit in some kind of strange headcanons and fan theories. So, Again, I'm not against fan theories and ideas in general, but I definitely don't like when people assert their fans as truth, or their fan theories as truth, even when there is very blatant contradictory evidence that they just kind of cherry pick around and ignore, and then argue with anybody who disagrees. It's very childish. Prisoner's shirt laying on the bed reminds me a lot of the water prison in Silent Hill 4. There's a room in Silent Hill 4, one of the prison cells for the water prison where they kept the children. And one of the kids took their clothes off. You find a memo written by them. There were like little holes in the walls where the guards could watch them. And they would try to block the view with their clothing. Respect Ito's patience all these years in those situations because, oh boy. On the one hand, like, I respect that Ito... How rude. Sure. On the one hand, I do respect that Ito, like, continues to engage with fans, even after dealing with lots of those types of fans for such a long time. But I don't know if patience is the right word. Because Ito has absolutely ripped into some people over the years as well. That's my favorite Ito. That's my favorite Masahiro Ito. Is the one who answers the crazy fucking rude fans with their weird ass headcanons, and Ito just straight up says, like, don't play Silent Hill, don't buy the remake. That's like an actual response to somebody that he's given. Or he'll tell people, like, you think too much. He has gone off on some people talking about Centralia and Ash. There's a lot of tweets where he was like, you idiots keep getting your information from YouTubers who don't research anything. There's multiple responses on that subject that I'll even be featuring a lot of screenshots of those in my Silent Hill 1 iceberg. That's one of the topics that I'll be covering in that video. So, yeah, those of you who saw my preview of the Silent Hill 1 iceberg, I did it a couple weeks back, which is still up on my Nub Zombie Archives YouTube, if you would like to go and watch that, the first 20 minutes of the iceberg. It's a very rough cut. It's not final edit, but It includes talking about the snow in Silent Hill 1 and Ito's response to fans calling it ash and all that. So feel free to go and find that video. Be sure to subscribe to Nub Zombie Archives. Shameless plugs. Execution DR88 report. Prisoner E662, age 23, male, method electrocution. Witnesses 0. Note to medical staff. During last night's execution, the prisoner, assumed to have been disabled, simply stood up and approached the chair without any assistance. So this is our wheelchair in the execution room. From now on, take utmost care when reviewing the prisoner's medical history. Guards need to be made aware how capable the prisoners are in order to avoid any incidents. Also, remember him saying to someone, "Were you in Team Silent? I don't remember you." Yes. Yes, he did. That's one of the tweets I have actually got a screenshot of in in my iceberg video. We've got another clock with 10 past 9. Same recurring time on the clocks that we've seen all throughout the game up to this point. That was the original clock puzzle solution from Woodside Apartments in the original Silent Hill 2. It didn't have much significance outside of that one puzzle, but they really emphasize it a lot in the remake. A lot of fans speculate that that's meant to be an indicator of Mary's time of death. Did we ever figure out the cause of his "I wish I hadn't designed fucking Pyramid Head" tweet? I think he was just tired of seeing it utilized for so many things outside of its original purpose. It was a very specific creature designed for a very specific character, James Sunderland, and had very special meaning to the story and the character that it was made for. But it was popular, so Konami just kind of shoehorned it into as many things as they could. Ito even designed other Pyramid Head creatures, which he referred to as White Hunters, that he wanted them... He would rather Konami use those similar Pyramid Head creatures, those White Hunters, instead of Pyramid Head, so that they could still have something iconic without using his actual red pyramid thing outside of its intended purpose. But of course, that was not the case, because by that point, Pyramid Head was just too popular, and Konami wasn't going to stop using it. Ito also never got paid for pretty much any of the Pyramid Head merchandise, statues, all of those things. Like, he never got paid for any of that, which is an incredibly shitty and completely on-brand thing for Konami to do. I imagine those are probably the reasons he tweeted that. Even now with the Sakura head and the new Pyramid Head statue, he got paid as like a consultancy fee over the newest ones, like the Sakura head statue and the newest Pyramid Head statue, but like none of the other ones before that. He never saw a dime. And honestly, he probably got underpaid for whatever they gave him for the new ones. It's a damn shame. But I hope they rectify that. I hope Ito got paid well for his contributions on this game. And I hope Ito and Yamaoka and maybe some other members of Team Silent are involved with Silent Hill 1 Remake and get paid well for it. They definitely deserve it. Like, this series would not be what it is without those people. And Konami needs to fucking recognize and respect that. Well, gives us some context as far as prison layout, where we are. There's Eddie's victim. So that's the cafeteria right there, through this wall. Here's our little Baroness memo. This was something that was in the original Silent Hill 2 as well. In the center of Silent Hill lies the town's major tourist attraction, Toluca Lake. But there's a darker side to this scenic and beautiful reservoir. What may seem a bread and butter local ghost story you've heard time and time again, in this case rings surprisingly true. One fateful fog-bound November day in 1918, a tourist cruiser called Little Baroness has set sail, never to dock again. Newspaper articles reporting the event contain no details of the ship's disappearance. Despite an extensive police search, neither a single fragment of the ship nor the remains of the passengers or the crew have ever been recovered. But in 1939, an even more bizarre incident has taken place. And then you can see there's several pages ripped out of this book. Many corpses rest at the bottom of this lake. Their bony hands stretch out towards the boats that pass overhead. Perhaps they reach for their comrades. So we can even see some of the boats and then the Little Baroness itself. So this is a slightly different written, but very similar to the way that it's found in the original Silent Hill 2 memo regarding the Little Baroness. And then Silent Hill, the arcade game, and an on-rails shooter that only released in arcades, took this story of the Little Baroness and expanded it into like its whole own kind of story. Which, like, the arcade game, I like it for what it is. It's not great. It's got some really terrible voice acting. And it's pretty cheesy. It's literally House of the Dead, but with a Silent Hill skin. You go to some iconic Silent Hill locations. You go to some iconic locations that are not even in Silent Hill, like the mall from Silent Hill 3, which is not a location in Silent Hill. That's before you go to Silent Hill, by the way. But yeah, it's a fun game for what it is. And the fact that they expanded on like the Little Baroness lore, I gotta give them some credit for that. It was definitely interesting. Hey, Billy. Dorito spaghetti for everyone. Appreciate ya. Good to see you, Billy. Hope you're doing well. And this brings us back out to where we were. In front of the chapel, next to the armory. We've got the armory key now. So we can claim the rifle. We took a pretty close look at it last time during yesterday's stream. Look, you can see there's the bullet. The fact that it's got like a serial number on it and everything, FDFS, or not a serial number, but I'm not a gun nut. I don't know what the engravings on the bullets like this mean. Is it grain count? Or the metal used for the casing, FDFS 8567-04 L235. Collect the hunting rifle. Okay, so this is something that I wanted to check. You don't start with a bullet in it. I thought maybe you would start with one bullet in the rifle when we were examining it yesterday. But it looks like it had 0 until I actually load some of the ammo that I've already picked up. Silent Hill 2 pickup sound. God, I miss those sounds, I will say. The interface sounds in this game are so weak. They're not great. They're like barely there. And I get that that's kind of the idea. You don't want them to be quite so intrusive to the atmosphere and everything else, but I don't know. I love that. Those OG menu sounds and pickup sounds. Ooh. Just so iconic. And now we get to go back through this area, but now it's full of spider mannequins. This is where the backtracking and the amount of enemies and everything for the prison started to feel like a little bit too much to me. Spoders on the walls. Love his noises, yeah. And there's our medium weight. There we go. The bull with the horns cut off. It's our next destination. Oh. Pinned it to the wall with that shot. It's like, oh, what game did that? Dead Space? Where you could, spear enemies with things. And they would, like, stick to the walls and things in the environment. Plop. Already hearing him making noise. Are they out here? I think it might be ones in that area above me. Just the little limb peeking out from up there. That area is not rendered in. Do we normally get access to this part of the prison? You do at some point, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. We'll do that a bit later. I was thrown off by those, like, staircases leading into unrendered area. Like, I'm pretty sure you can go here. Saw someone walking around past lights out. Again. Whichever one of you that was, do I need to remind you that you must never leave your post without prior clearance. Next time I catch you, I'm reporting you to the warden. So obviously written by a head guard, or possibly the priest, somebody other than the warden, someone other than one of the normal guards, most likely. The warden from Minecraft? Sorry, Oleander, I don't get that reference. I've never really played Minecraft. It is bad to take when they own. They said they own. When one does own, the other can't take, but I cannot own? Should the warden take? No, he shouldn't own again. I will take. I will own. Owning noobs in the prison, I see. That's exactly what that was a memo referencing. Did you find anything new through these cam-hacked playthroughs? Lots of things. Things that were new to me, things that I didn't see anybody else posting about online. I'll try and do a big compilation once we're done with this playthrough. But that's still going to be quite a ways off. Seeing as how we're on part 21 and we're only to the prison. We still have the rest of prison, the labyrinth, Eddie, the boat launch, and the hotel. So, you know, I'm sure we'll have it covered in the next, like, 12 to 15 episodes. And then however much time it takes me to go back through all of that footage and compile everything into one video. Need a key from this. Can't wait for Nub's Silent Hill 1 Iceberg video to be 8 hours long. Oh man, it's taking so long for me to edit. Like, I'm genuinely sorry that I also just suck at editing. I'm not a very efficient editor. So it takes me a long time to, like, make everything actually look and sound good, and to get all the footage and references and resources that I need. Because, yeah, it took me such a long time just to even get my preview video that I showed, which was the first, like, 20 minutes. And that 20 minutes was maybe, like, a third of level 1 of the iceberg out of 6 levels. And the later levels, there's a lot of stuff that goes into much longer explanations with a lot more stuff. So it's just like, it's gonna be a long video, and it takes me a long time to, like, edit everything and have it be good quality. So I'm doing what I can. Yep, we picked up a key. We got the fancy finger. But I'm trying to get things done. I'm trying to make time to edit and make progress on everything as often as possible. But things are also going to get sort of looking off to the side. He's looking at the save. He's distracted by red square. But yeah. We're also going to have Silent Hill F come out in, like, in less than 100 days. Shoot, I was trying to keep a running countdown on my Blue Sky page, and I think I forgot to post today. But we have Silent Hill F coming out in, like, 97 days. So that's going to take up a lot of my time once it does come out. A lot of playthroughs, a lot of research, compiling notes, putting together stuff for the story playthroughs, cam hack playthrough for that. So that's... F is gonna eat up a lot of my time and focus. And it'll be here before we know it. Sunday, morning routine. Disruption reported. C-140 yelling about C-777 haunting him. Claims bars can't hold him. Administered sedative to C-140. Noon lockup. Performed precautionary search of C-777 cell, D5. No traces found of the prisoner leaving his cell unsupervised. Recommend further psychiatric evaluation of C-140. Afternoon route. C-140 and C-777 missing from their cells. Alarm raised. Search in effect. Update. Bathroom door barred from inside. Efforts made to get them open. We don't hear anything from the other side. Evening lockup. We actually already looked at that barred bathroom door, kind of clipped through it a little bit. Prisoners talking about being haunted by other prisoners. Not being held within their cells. Could be a lot of things being referenced there. but feels like a little bit of a nod towards Walter Sullivan, who pretty much becomes a ghost. He was also a prisoner who takes his own life as part of the ritual, part of the 21 sacraments, and becomes a ghost that literally haunts South Ashfield Heights. Other than a blank clipboard, nothing actually on it. Not too much, like, hiding around in this room. Same Sean cigarettes, pair of rusty handcuffs. Always like just looking at the memos and things themselves. Like seeing all the distinct, different looking handwriting, and the textures on the paper and everything. Waste that then. Oh, we can open this up. Leads back downstairs. Open up D block. I want to finish looking around here as well. Oh yeah, some drug use imagery here. So not only do we have our first aid kit with syringe that James has been using, several other used, much grosser looking syringes scattered around. Cigarette butts. Stuff like that over here in the corner. But then on the metal tray, we have a syringe. We have a lighter. The lighter was also part of the original Silent Hill 2 puzzle used to melt the wax doll. But you've also got a spoon with like a little piece of cloth or something in it, along with residue. So usually when drug users are injecting themselves with substances, you could be heating it up with the lighter on the spoon and having like a little piece of cotton to filter through. So, oh, and the belt. There's also the belt. that you would essentially use kind of similar to like a tourniquet to tie off your arm or whatever limb you're injecting into. So some very clear implications of drug use here. Also some bottles stashed into the toilet. Medicine bottles scattered around here. Newspaper. World business, finances, lifestyle, travel, sports, weather. More bottles in the sink. But I do like how they kind of draw this parallel of like serious drug use right next to where James picks up a syringe that he injects himself with. All the medicine bottles and things like that over here, right next to where you pick up your health drink. Just, I think, to kind of draw an interesting comparison. Again, this is the type of thing that I don't think is meant to be taken literally at face value. The way a lot of fans would see something like this and immediately jump into some theories. James is just injecting himself with heroin the whole time. I don't think it's meant to be that. I just think it's meant to draw an interesting comparison. Yeah, the one that I killed is still stuck to the wall there. Hey, Nidar. On the texture, it's written to be insulin, actually. Is that visible when we use it? Oh, I'm at full health. I can't use one. Only in data mining? Yeah, a lot of that stuff, similar to like Mary's medicine bottle in Brookhaven. You can only see it through pulling the raw file. Yeah, because seeing the in-game asset like this, we don't get the full label. Just a few letters of it. D. Ooh, flickery. What do you mean by can I turn it? Like, you can see the lot number and the letters and numbers there, so like the label is right side up. Still love how detailed it is for something we can barely even see up close. Yeah, the fact that... oh. You can see a little bit on this side. Use once and destroy. Made in USA. Googling types of insulin. Novo Rapid, Glulicine, Lispro, Humalog, Apidra. Levemir. What's the name of the data miner guy again? You mentioned him recently too. Ashman? Rachel Ashman? Not Dust Golem. Golem is not a data miner. He's a leaker. Generics, Glargine, Dedamir, Degludec, Tresiba, Levemir, Isaglar, Lantis, Novolog, Fiasp, Humalog, Admelog, Adpura. I'm finding lots of types of insulin that are not quite lining up with the few letters that we can read on the label. Not that I doubt your information, Nidar, but it's frustrating when I can't, like, verify it myself quickly. And you just wiggle around out there, that's fine. I've just spent a lot of time and effort researching and sharing information on these games. I try to be as accurate as I can, and I try not to spread misinformation if I can help it. It's a little something called integrity. Silent Hill fans. Some of y'all could use a dose. Care a little bit more about the accuracy of your information instead of your follower count. Ooh, the shiv. Which is actually a key. I love that. Good detail. Hidden in the first aid kit as well. Behind the padding in the solitary confinement room. Shame you didn't find it. Shouldn't you know this place better than I do? Now it's too late. I'm going for a walk. Prisoner who, had the room searched. They didn't find it. Clever boy, here's your reward. I'm gonna pay a visit to my friend. We could both use a bath. So that's our indication of taking the key, going to the locked bathroom. Oh, because the shiv key is more shiv than key. James does not fancy finger. Interesting. That's like the only key that we've picked up that he doesn't do that for. Oh, you found it, Nidar? It was Sheba. It's at 150 in the video Silent Hill 2 Remake Hidden Details Uncovered Through Data Mining. Oh, right. Sheba also was the one who posted the Morse code TV messages. It's written, use U100 insulin only. And that's for sure the same texture used in-game. It's not like an unused texture. So is it something that's only in the game files? Yeah, Definitely doesn't seem like something visible on the actual in-game. Oh, wait. It is. It's right there. Dude, how did I not get this view of it when we were looking at it before? Use U-100 insulin only. It manifested because you mentioned it. Just goes to show, even trying to be as thorough as I can, there's going to be a lot of stuff that I miss. Thank you, Nidar. You had to summon it. Dude, I just looked at these things. So yeah, I managed to not look at the exact angle and everything, but there it is. Insulin. Or at the very least, the syringes themselves are intended to be insulin, not necessarily like what's in them. Need to take a closer look at everything now. We will beat streamer integrity with chat magic trickery. But see, that's the thing. Like, I do want to, like, sort of doubt even myself, as well as other things, because you never know when something might be accurate or inaccurate. That's why I try to, like, verify as much of this as possible. The spoon near it makes it suspicious for sure. I mean, we just analyzed all of that as hash. This is clearly like someone shooting up heroin or some other type of injectable drug, because you have the needle, you have the lighter, you have the spoon with a piece of like cotton in it as a filter, you have the belt sitting up here that would be used to like tie off your arm or wherever you're injecting. Definitely the imagery they're going for. No doubting that. I wonder to what degree they counted this in. Usually I would think they just took some stock texture no one can see anyway, but they also have hidden stuff in ingredient label. Yeah, like the nutrition facts label on Eddie's ice cream bucket. That's one that we looked at with the free cam back in the theater. There are clearly some things that there was a lot of care and detail with, like intentional Easter eggs that they anticipated fans finding through data mining and through cam hacks and stuff just like this. But we've also found a lot of generic textures and placeholder text and lorem ipsum and stuff like that. So it feels like, I don't know, their graphics department, the people making the artwork and the assets, it's more than just one person. So it kind of feels like you probably had a few people working on the more high detailed assets. which is where they put a lot more of the little references and Easter eggs and things. And then you also had some people working on less detailed assets, where there's a lot of just like placeholder and sort of generic models and textures. So it's definitely kind of a mix of things. Although when it comes to the like interactable items, your heals, your ammo boxes, stuff that you're constantly acquiring throughout the game, those have all been fairly highly detailed. So I can't help but feel that those are intentional for them to be like what they are. But the significance of it, like being insulin or anything like that, I'm not sure. He's coming. I know he is. The bars, the walls, they can't hold him. He'll get in, he'll get in. I still have time. I can make it. Almost through. But he's close. I can feel it. He's coming to finish it. Let him come. So clearly something going down between these two prisoners. The one who said they felt like they were being haunted by the other one. The one hiding keys and things so that they can get out. The guard's note kind of indicating that there was a prisoner walking around past lights out and after lockdown, who was going after this other prisoner. And then this note kind of describing how they were trying to get away. All these little broken walls and things trying to escape. Here we are on the other side of that barricaded door we were looking at earlier. Even ripped out the water fountain and put it up against the door. The sink, shelves, benches. Wasn't the ice cream strawberry too? I find it so weird. It's from Silent Hill Meats. It was from Silent Hill Farms. Farms do more than just meat. They won't save you. Mr. Shy Potato Guy has meat on the brain confirmed. I mean, did you see our conversation in the Discord earlier? All that delicious Portuguese and Brazilian food? getting posted? No wonder. Sorry. That one's occupied. Think twice before going to a bathroom in Silent Hill now. I mean, you should always think twice about that. Bathrooms are kind of a notorious spot in Silent Hill games for many reasons. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. Didn't listen. He's here. Love the ambient sound here. Wonder if it would have attacked you if you hadn't gone to that bathroom. Oh, like if you don't open up the stall where the mannequin is, if it leaves you alone. We'll have to try that out on a next playthrough. Yeah, these nurses will definitely not get up. All these dead monsters in an area that we haven't even been in yet certainly won't get up. And they're just giving me lots of ammunition and supplies for no real reason. Not indicating anything, you know, that's going to happen. And this is like so blatantly telegraphed. It's a little silly. Whoops. I'm not trying to parkour. I'm trying to pick up the drink. And then we get the bugs. Yep. Gotta stick your hand in the bug hole. Very slow moving fan, just sort of rocking back and forth. The breathing sound, yeah. Kinda similar to some of the breathing sounds we hear in Brookhaven. Wait, breathing sound? Like, as part of the ambient sound here? It's like a very low whoosh. That? Right there? It doesn't even sound so much like a breathing sound. It sounds like in the original Silent Hill 2 when you would swing the great knife. And it made that really low, like, whoosh noise. Sounds to me like a very slow heartbeat. I don't know. To me, even when slowed down, heartbeats have that distinctive, like, double pulse where they're contracting and then releasing, even when they're slowed down. This is just like a singular noise. Which is a little closer to like a breath or swinging a great knife. Here is our third tablet. Which was also found in the prison showers in the original Silent Hill 2. The Tablet of the Seductress. One of those things that I have sort of shifted my opinion on. That's one of those, you can interpret these in like the Tablet of the Gluttonous Pig being in the cafeteria right after you meet Eddie. It's very clearly like thematically tied to him. The Tablet of the Oppressor, like a male figure strangling or smothering a female figure. I think it's very easy to sort of tie that one to James. This one, I was more ambiguous about originally. So originally I thought exactly what you said, Mr. Shy Potato. It's easy to think of Maria. Maria is the first thing that comes to mind when you think seductress. But remember, these things are sort of reflecting elements of the characters who are in the town that are real. Eddie and Angela are real, along with James. Maria is not. And it would be a bit strange to have those other two tablets referencing real characters and then one referencing a manifestation who was just created when James arrived. So it's one of those that, even after talking with my wife Rachel, like, I'm more convinced the Tablet of the Seductress is more towards Angela. Even though Angela is not herself trying to seduce or playing the role of a seductress, it was the way that her father looked at her, framed her that way. Exactly, Oleander. Angela was blamed for her victimhood, which is a very common thing in sexual abuse, especially when it's incestuous. But yeah, that same dialogue, her saying, "Even Mama said it. I deserved what happened." Calling the tablet seductress when referring to Angela is definitely a curveball for a lot of people and does require understanding of her situation. Yeah, like, the other two I think are much easier to draw the connection, but just like, again, I interpreted that for the longest time, and a lot of fans interpret it on that surface level of being Maria. When you think seductress, you think Maria, like, first and foremost, out of anybody in this game. But again, if you really kind of stop and think about it, and you've got that understanding of Maria being a manifestation, not really being a part of all the rest of this otherworld manifestation environment that's stemming from our three main characters. There's our heavyweight coated in goo. Time to go full Evil Dead. Chainsaw everything. Maybe James was the real Bubba all this time. Oh, and now the barricaded door is all moved. Everything has been pushed aside so that this is open now. One particular book in this drawer. No title or anything on it. All right. And this is where I'm going to have to call it for the night. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all coming by. Making good progress through the prison. So we'll still have quite a bit more to explore next time. Where's music? There's music. I should be back tomorrow night. Depending on how things are going, I'm still going to try to be on, probably with some Dead by Daylight earlier in the day, usually around like 4 o'clock or so, maybe a bit earlier, maybe a bit later, maybe not at all, depending on how stuff goes, because I'm also still trying to spend time editing and working on stuff around the house and just taking care of myself. Today I spent some time exercising and stuff like that, so. But as always, if you're new here or you're not on the YouTube channel yet, please go subscribe. It helps me out immensely. I've got a main channel and an archive channel. Archive channel gets all of the raw stream uploads, nothing edited. You can also find all of my previous playthroughs of things from over the last 10 years I've been doing stuff on Twitch. So you can find like my first playthrough of Demon Souls, my first playthrough of Bloodborne, my first playthrough of Death Stranding, several Silent Hill marathons and story playthroughs and speed runs for everything across the series, as well as all of these stream archives. Shortly after they happen, they go up onto the archive channel. And then, of course, edited versions will be on the main channel shortly after that. And if you're not already in the Discord, you are welcome to join my graveyard. Come by, hang out, discuss Silent Hill, or any video games, or food. I was posting pictures of the salmon and zucchini fries and rice that I made earlier. So if you enjoy your time here, you want to be a part of the community, keep up with what's going on with streams, as well as updates and things regarding my health, and anytime there's any kind of delays, and just kind of whatever, feel free to come by, hang out in the Discord. But yeah, that's going to be all for me. Thank you guys again so much. I really appreciate y'all choosing to spend your time here with me. Seriously, it means a lot to me. Thank you so much for all the love and support. And I will see you all tomorrow. Till then, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Much love. Peace.